A. Capitalism. To quote the online encyclopedia, Wikipedia, pertaining to the definition of capitalism, quote, "There is a continuing debate over the definition, nature, and scope of this system." End quote. Therefore, due to the variety of definitions, only one definition has been presented so as to avoid a capitalism definition debate, which is not in the scope of this work. The following definition sums up the individualist's understanding of the basic concept. Defined by the American Heritage Dictionary, 1. An economic system characterized by freedom of the market with increasing concentration of private and corporate ownership of production and distribution means, proportionate to increasing accumulation and reinvestment of profits. The freedom of true capitalism cannot be denied, but it is rarely practiced, if at all, in its ideal form due to countless laws, regulations, and restrictions designed to control who and what comes to power. Yes, it can be said that capitalism fuels incentive for each individual to get up and work hard for what they dream of, but makes no promises of fulfilling that dream. And the harder or smarter one works, the greater will be the success. Thus, the amount of work energy and the efficiency of that work is directly proportionate to success. Ideally. This neglects to consider, however, families who have long had control of vast wealth and/or corporations, and place their family members directly into power with little or no effort. It neglects the masses of middle-class laborers who, some even with college education, burn every ounce of energy each day until collapsing in bed just to make ends meet. Yes, it drives one to work one's hardest, possibly in haste, developing innovative new technology for great personal reward, but neglects that it will also conceal new technology such as disease cures because of the great market demand for them. For the same selfish profiteering reasons, it will curb resources away from things that will hurt profit, even if it is to the benefit of all mankind. It is said that each individual is free to do whatever type of work they wish. However, people end up doing what makes more money, not what they love, and what makes more money may not be what is best for human evolution, especially in these times where mankind has completely lost touch with the reason for incarnation and dwells in complete nonsense. Thus, the initial person is alienated not only because of labor specialization, but because of a task one is uninterested in and which evolves one's being to no extent during the long hours applied, nor does it assist humanity, enthralled to fulfilling the dream of another at one's own expense. Thus, it is a tragic waste of life force from the individualistic point of view. Every ounce of time must be used for the evolution of self, all else is secondary. This freedom of market concept is even further corrupted. All things in nature have limits. The earth has a definite path. Beings have a definite lifespan, etc. So too must this free market have a limit so as to avoid corporations which become larger than nations exploiting the masses and the earth, causing freedom to be in the hands of only the few. The limit is not applied to the freedom of activity. It is applied to size. Once a business gets so large, there is no logical reason for it to grow even larger, save for power and control and other vices which fuel the egos of totalitarian madmen. As one can see in the definition, increasing concentration of private and corporate ownership. Here the definition is plainly admitting this fatal flaw. With an unlimited free market, businesses soon own all, and they then buy each other out until all things are owned by a mere handful of people. Thus, the God-given things such as land and resources have false claim laid over them by man, forcing others to labor to receive what is truly owned by God and given freely to all men, not just a few. It is no different than the feudalism it evolved from. The business owner becomes the authoritarian despot, and through his hierarchy of officer/barons and foreman/knights, he rules his serfs, the nameless employees nearly powerless to rise up in the company, a mockery of the proclaimed freedom. Thus, one can see that the freedom of this system is directly proportionate to level of rank in a particular size of a company, which is proportionate to wealth and power. The result is thus subtle slavery of the masses, being that the higher the rank, the fewer the available positions. The individualist believes the goal of human existence is the cultivation of the human mind, body, and spirit, not the construction of the largest and most inharmonious machine or city ever built. Look at society and honestly ask, where is it heading? What is the ultimate goal? What more has it achieved since its ancient brethren besides unnecessary creature comforts and devices that in no way assist mankind's evolution or the welfare of the planet which sustains them? Man has moved virtually nowhere in evolution for thousands of years. His understanding of nature has been used to no constructive ends. If anything, we have gone backwards and become ignorant to nature and bedazzled by our own magnificent, pointless material creations. To this day, we cannot build the Pyramid of Giza, yet we call ourselves advanced. Materialism is the cause. The focus upon only the physical has caused man to lose touch with his true nature, the infinite soul. Proponents would say that capitalism does assist humanity. Now, this is where the definition and beliefs of life's purpose must be defined. The proponents judge the evolution of a nation and people by the sophistication of their material technology and level of production of these items which may or may not assist humanity's evolution. These proponents go as far as waging war on third world countries, informing them that they are benevolently assisting them to evolve to the pointless materialistic state of waste and consumption possessed by the advanced first world countries. Hypothetically, say a nation had no creature comforts and lived an ancient tribal life, yet were happy, prayed to their God every moment of their life, and were strong in mind, body, and spirit, such as the Native American. Suddenly, they were forcefully converted to materialism and forced to walk and learn the new and better system. They became unhappy, stopped praying as much, and didn't have time to study the wisdom of their culture. They were no longer allowed to freely take what they needed from the earth because others now owned it. In which state were they successful? Are devoted monks less evolved than the rest of us when they denounce material possessions yet submerge themselves in a wealth of knowledge and a life of simplicity? This is not to say that the individualist is a proponent for tribalism or the life of a monk. It is simply to show the alternate views of success. It is not denied that technology is useful, but it must be guarded against so as not to become the main focus of existence. The primary focus of capitalism is materialism, to have and to own. Its very definition includes capital, which is material wealth. The individualist does not dispute man's inherent desire and right to own, but it must be done so in a wise manner. How many people have not the things they need? How many people have things they never use or used only once? How many have purchased the latest trendy item which does nothing to enhance their mind, body, or spirit? Material objects are vain and pointless unless they, as tools, can contribute to the ultimate goal of one's personal evolution. Capitalism has made itself an object of such focus that it gains more attention than the goal of life itself. Life is not about pointless work. It is about meaningful work, which is the individual evolution. Many live life the way they were told to live. Get a job, get a spouse, have children, have your children get a job and a spouse, and have their children do the same, etc. It is a never-ending cycle of servitude that achieves nothing, ignorant to the spirit of man, its importance and precedence. People then focus on work and making money more than living life and enjoying the majesty that they dwell in. They focus on making this money as fast as possible, regardless of the consequences, generating haste, because the system has taken away all spare time from them. Haste, in turn, generates inferior and unwise solutions, which are irresponsibility, which generates nothing but corruption and pollution. It has been common sense for aeons that haste makes waste, yet its practice governs our modern lives. Today, everyone is trying to get ahead. Get ahead of what? Ahead of their fellow brother, regardless if they feed him to the wolves? Or ahead of the machine that saps them of their most precious and aware hours of the day, and then taxes their tranquility of mind afterwards with silent threats of future despair, if not more of their effort, in the form of capital, is not produced to quench the ever-increasing cost demands of the need suppliers. It also may lead to one becoming one of those who profits by impassively deceiving and enslaving one's fellow brethren. To strive for only the pile of gold is directly ignoring the most important task in life, to strive to make oneself gold. The flaw of modern capitalism is that work energy is directed senselessly and hastily, all its solutions and fruits being only short-sighted, short-term goals for the quickest possible self-profit regardless of a bigger picture or wiser long-term solution, thus thoroughly selfish.